So praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
I propose we get this service started. The cameras are rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Oh, never mind. Rawhide. I'm just saying, is anybody listening? Does anybody really care? Hi, Karen. Hi, Helen. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Sally Wantz, and it is a pleasure to see you all here on this nice rainy day. And there's Katie, one of our newest members in the whole wide UU world. Paula, this is Katie.
Raise the roof, girl.
Raise the roof. All right, good morning, everybody. For those who don't know, maybe you're here for the first time, where we are right now is the land of the original inhabitants, the Siuslaw Indians. And we like to honor them because they've done such a good job and continue to do a good job of taking care of the land, the water, the air. That is their focus for generations to come. So we pay honor to the tribe, the past, present, and future generations. All right, so we don't have, unless Mark wants to lead us, we don't have any music director today, so you are the music directors, right? So we're going to stand and we're going to sing Spirit of Life a cappella.
We can do that.
It's hymn number 123. If you know the words, you don't need to open the hymnal.
I didn't bring my guitar.
Okay, sorry.
I have a refrigerator in there.
No, I don't think so. So anyway, we're going to start... Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Ruth, hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. That was nice. You're all hired. You're hired. Good morning again. I want to remind everybody to turn off your cell phones or put them on mute, pretty please. And remember to remain fully masked unless you're up here behind the podium. We want to continue to be the best stewards we can for our congregants and for our guests. So please be fully masked. May 11th, coming up, join the FOG. That's the Florence Outdoor Group or the FUUF Outdoor Group. It's an outdoor group. And they meet here on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock and go off to various places. Coming up this Wednesday, they're going to carpool or caravan to Sutton Creek for a stroll through that area. So everybody's welcome to join. Just come on. May 11th also is our FUUF board meeting at 3:30 right here. Everyone's welcome to come and be a guest. May 15th, next week, Reverend Donna Smith returns for her Sunday message about our theme of nurturing beauty. Skipping to June, please remember our annual meeting is Sunday, June 5th, right after Sunday service, starting at 11:30. Voting documents and all kinds of stuff will be mailed to our members and extraordinary friends, so be on the lookout for that, okay? So, May 8th, 1945, day in history. Both Great Britain and the U.S. celebrate victory in Europe, rejoicing in the defeat of the Nazi war machine. On a lighter side, May 8th, 2010, Betty White becomes the oldest Saturday Night Live host. Yay, Betty! May 8th, 1963, Sean Connery stars in the first Bond movie, Dr. No! Okay, a little bit of history here. Does anybody have any other announcements or fun facts you want to share? Yes, Deborah. Okay, you need a microphone. She's got wine for sale. She's holding it up. I'm going to speak into the microphone because that's what Jay wants us to do. Oh. And by the way, The bottle she's holding is the best of that whole box, so grab it quickly. Yeah, get the $26 one. Yeah. So we have 6 bottles in the box. One on the outside is really good wine. These were gifted to us in some way, shape, or form from Reverend Donna Smith, because she works for Avicella as a bookkeeper. So she brings up some wines, and we resell them to you. So please avail yourself. There's some really good wines there. Any other announcements? Thank you for that, Deborah. I was hoping we could sell those so we don't have to move them, right? Anybody else?
Pro-choice walk,
What's that?
the pro-choice march.
So there is, this is not a political statement, but I've been asked on behalf of Darlene to mention that next Saturday at 1 o'clock in the Highway 126 and 101 is a pro-choice rally, if you will. Really would love to get as many women out there as possible and as many men as possible, okay? So let's be there to support each other, shall we? 1 o'clock on Saturday, okay? Highway 126 and 101, that's our corner. That's our corner, at 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
Bring your sign.
Bring your signs. Bring a flag. Bring a friend, okay? And dress accordingly. Are there any other announcements? Kelly?
There's a documentary I just saw, it was Netflix, and it's called This Changes Everything.
This Changes Everything, a documentary on Netflix.
And it's about a look on film and the industry and how women are not really represented, especially in director roles.
Sure.
But it's a really cool, if you know, like you're looking for a show to watch, it's a really,
What's the name of it again?
This Changes Everything.
This Changes Everything on Netflix. Highly recommended. This Changes Everything. Okay. Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate that. Also, thank you. Don Gardner's in the back. I think he's probably meeting and greeting people as they come in. And thank you, Jim and Karen, for meeting and greeting as we open the doors. So do we have anybody here for the first time? I think we do. We do, Michelle. And I know that Mark and his Wendy are here for the first time. I want to give you a gift, and it's called The Windows to the Light, Enhancing Your Spirit Through Haiku Meditations, written by a woman who used to live here in Florence and gifted us with many, many copies, and we offer it to you as our gift. So I'm going to put on my mask, come around, and give this to you. Anybody else here for the first time?
I'm on time, you're late for the first time.
Sandra, I don't think you count, but do you want one?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
And I count, so.
Okay, you do count. You all count. And by the way, happy Mother's Day. I'm going to step aside and light our chalice, and I invite Karen to come forward and do our reading.
As Sally said, this is a beautiful reading. We forgot to remind people to turn off their phones. We have lovely music to listen to. Let beauty in like waves lapping on the shore, covering the beach with foamy glee and soaking the sand like an embrace. Let beauty in, like the first sunshine after a cloudy day, filling hearts and homes with the radiance that brings delight. Let beauty in, like a wrapped gift from the Spirit of Life herself, as she offers to us, behold, what creation can do. Behold, this is love made real, that you can touch, taste, and smell all around you. May all that is pleasing and exquisite be nurtured here in our time of worship. May the magnificent pull towards all that is divinely pleasing hold us close. May the sacred pulse within this space as we welcome in beauty.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you. So I am going to invite Rayma to come up. She's going to lead us in our joys and concerns, and I'll be glad to drop any shells that you have, Rayma. So come on up. And if you just stand a little bit off to the side, you don't need to move the microphone or anything.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a time in our service when we open our community to listen to whatever it is that's on your heart, be it a joy or a concern or anything else. And we do this to remind ourselves that we are part of a loving and safe community, and that there are people around us who are happy with our triumphs, as well as compassionate with our sorrows. We are not alone. So please, if you'd like to share something, you can line up to my left, your right, of the auditorium. And
Bring the microphone to you.
Sally will hand you the microphone.
No joys, no concern. Please.
Maya, we haven't seen Maya at church in a long time.
Just stand here.
Sure, right there.
Okay.
Head up to your face. Way up,
Well,
way up.
I want to share a joy.
Right up to your mouth.
Oh, I want to share a joy. And that is just, I've been thinking a lot about reciprocal love. I've been thinking a lot about reciprocal love. And I want to thank you all, because I come here and that's what I experience. And I really have been missing it, been having a hard time getting here. And I'm glad to be here, and I really love you all. And I feel it reciprocally. You fill the room with it. It's a lovely thing. Thank you so much.
We love you.
We love
Can I
you,
drop
Maya.
a shell for you? Or do you want
Yeah.
to drop one yourself? Okay, watch your arm, watch your arm. Here we go. Thank you, Maya. Anyone else want to share a joy or a concern?
There you
Why
go.
don't you come on this side? I think it's safer without the flame in the way.
I just want to say how happy I am to see Mark and Wendy here today, because they are my neighbors.
Oh, how
And
nice.
I can tell you, they're fine neighbors with a really fine little dog.
And would they say the same about you, Sandra?
I hope so. Mark, don't make me come back there and...
Thank you. Drop two shells.
One for each of them. There we go.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I will share my my joy that I shared last week, and taking further sign-ups for the fun, laughing group. So we will be playing games, not necessarily card games, but the person who's hosting the game night can choose the game they want to play. And we will probably start our first meeting here towards the end of the month. So if you would like to sign up to play games and have fun and laugh, please sign up with me after the service. Yes, do a shell for the games. Shell for laughing, shell for fun. Shell for winning. No, we really don't keep track about winning.
What's the purpose of the shells, dropping the shell?
It is to remind us as a ritual that we are enacting something. So we are giving power to dropping the shell in the water.
And it ripples.
And the ripples, yes, and it ripples out.
The mighty, the mighty water is rippling.
Right. All right, anyone else?
You know me, I always
Yes.
say something.
Oh, well, okay.
I always have something. So,
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm lucky to be Paula's daughter. So happy Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day to the mothers.
Day.
So my joy is my 16-year-old son, who is a handful, has arrived in Job Corps and is on his 5th day, and I am just really hopeful and would request love beams sent to him because it's the best possible place for him to be right now.
Speak his name.
Cooper. Cooper. Yeah. So thank
Go
you.
Cooper.
Thank you. Yeah.
Shell,
Drop a shot.
drop a shell.
I guess find a special one. It's barnacle.
Barnacle.
A comment.
If you didn't hear that, she found a barnacle that she dropped in the water.
All right. I have, before we drop our final shell, I have a quote that I would like to share with you from the Dalai Lama about speaking of love. Remember that the best relationship is the one in which your love for each other exceeds your need for each other. I like that. And I have another longer quote from Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science Mind. If the fearful mind would entertain love and the harmony and peace that go with it, it must turn from everything that denies this love and trusting in divine guidance, which would be spirit, open its being to the influx of love, not just love of God, but love of everything, for love is all-inclusive. Ernest Holmes. So now Sally will drop a final shell, and this is for the ones who do not share out loud in the service and or maybe at home and wanting our joys and concerns to be known. So we drop that shell in as a ritual to know that we are thinking of them and listening with our hearts. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Rama. Ruth Miller, our speaker today, Reverend Dr. Ruth Miller, can't be here. She had a sudden death in the family and needed to leave town. So I don't have any details on that, but she did pre-record a message, and you'll see that in just a moment. But she also selected this responsive reading, number 575, called A New Manifestation. And I invite you to go along with me on this reading. What number did I say it was? 575. So if you open your hymnal to the back there, 575, and join with me in this reading. I'll start, and you can read the italics version. How about that? If I can get to it. Come on. 575, A New Manifestation. A new manifestation is at hand. A new hour is come. Man and woman may regard one another as brother and sister, able both to appreciate and to prophesy to one another. A new manifestation is at hand. A new hour is come. What woman needs is not as a woman to act or rule, but as a nature to grow, as an intelligence to discern, as a soul to live freely and unimpeded, to unfold such powers as were given to her. A new manifestation is at hand. A new hour is come. Man does not have his fair share either. His energies are repressed and distorted by the interposition of artificial obstacles. A new manifestation is at hand. A new hour is come. We would have every arbitrary barrier thrown down. We would have every path laid open to woman as freely as to man. Where this is done, we believe a divine energy would pervade nature to a degree unknown in the history of former ages. A new manifestation is at hand. A new hour is come. Very nice. We have an opening hymn. We have it pre-recorded. Ruth wanted to have this one played as well, and instead of us singing, you can sing along if you like, but I think if you just sit back and enjoy this beautiful choir singing, you'll enjoy it. If you want to follow along in the hymn, it's hymn number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
That's beautiful. So as I said, Ruth Miller pre-recorded a message, and I'm going to play that next. And I invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy this beautiful message. And then, and I might ask somebody after this if anybody would like to share a story of someone in your life who nurtured you. Maybe it was your mother, grandmother, maybe it was your uncle, maybe it was your favorite science teacher. Who knows? So enjoy this message.
Well, good morning. I had hoped to be able to be present with you today, but life had other things for me to be doing. So I'm trusting that you are enjoying this fabulous day in May. And as you've heard, I'm sure, the theme today is nurturing beauty. This whole month, we're exploring that. Isn't that marvelous? And so for me, as many of you know, the first thing to do is to look at the words, right? So what is the word nurture? What does that mean? Where does that come from? Well, in the Cambridge Dictionary, nurture is defined as to take care of, feed, and protect someone or something, especially young children or plants, and help him, her, or it to develop. To nurture. When we nurture a plant, we provide a container, good soil, occasional fertilizer, regular water, and sometimes we prune it. Sometimes we, actually take cuttings from it and nurture new plants from it, yes? We want to make sure it has enough light and room to grow. When we nurture an animal, a pet, or if we're caring for livestock, we do very much the same thing. We create a safe environment that's big enough and gives them room to grow. We create the appropriate food. We provide the appropriate food and liquids. We water it. We make sure it gets enough sun and shadow and warmth and all the things it needs to be happy and healthy. Many of us have nurtured small children. We've mothered them, haven't we? Mothering and nurturing have become almost synonymous in our culture. How is that so? We take care of and feed and protect as mothers. We also do a little more. We provide not only the space for growth, We don't only give them room to grow, we give them guidance and support in becoming the best that they can be. The best mothers help children find their gifts and encourage those gifts. Sometimes mothers will say, this is what we have to do to be successful in our culture, so I'm going to make sure you know how to do it. Sometimes mothers will tell us how to become something other than what we really are inclined to be as a result. And sometimes it takes a very long time to find out that regardless, the person who was our mother, the person who was nurturing us, was attempting to make sure we were safe and would be successful in this world that we live in. So that's the nurturing part. What about nurturing beauty? What is beauty? Beauty is the English version of the French word beau, B-E-A-U. And a beau in England is a man that a woman is dating and maybe considering marrying. Beauty. Beau en français is beautiful, is wonderful, has the qualities of B-A-U, water. Ab-o, beau, abo, from the water, of the water, the qualities of life, the qualities of giving life, the qualities of fluidness, the qualities of light refracting and reflecting. Beau. So in English, we say beauty, all those things. And there's one other piece to all of that. There's an inspirational quality to beauty, isn't there? We hear a beautiful piece of music, or we see a beautiful piece of art, or we meet a beautiful person, and we are inspired. We are encouraged to experience life with a little more love. We are encouraged maybe to even try our own gifts a little bit to see if maybe someday we might accomplish something of our own beauty. Oh, our own beauty. Accomplish beauty. Boy, that's another dimension, isn't it? So as a mother, part of what I aim for, and part of what I know most mothers aim for, is to nurture the beauty in the soul of the person that I'm helping to grow up. To nurture their gifts and talents so they may create beauty, and to provide beauty for them to be inspired by and help them be as beautiful as they can feel. Yes, to feel beautiful, whether they're men or women, boys or girls, or don't identify as either or as both. To feel beautiful, to feel as if I'm harmoniously and inspiringly put together. Yes. To nurture beauty involves two very related, but not entirely the same processes. Nurturing and beauty itself is a process. Beauty is a becoming. Beauty is an inspiring. Beauty is not just an object, but a way of being. When I was growing up, one of the familiar lines that I often heard was, beauty is on the inside. Or beauty is as beauty does. Didn't Forrest Gump say something about that? Or beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. The beholder. So beauty is not just a one-way thing. Beauty is beingness and beholdingness. What I perceive as beautiful, you may not perceive as beautiful. When I feel beautiful, you may not see it that way, but that's okay. When I nurture the beauty in a soul, when I nurture the talents that may bring forth even more beauty in my world, whether those talents be in my children, my community, or even myself, I'm taking care of, I'm feeding, and I'm protecting. I'm making sure all the resources are there for it. I'm making sure it's safe, that I'm safe, that they're safe, that the plant is safe, the child is safe, that you are safe. And I'm protecting it too. And to protect this process that we call beauty involves letting go of the tendency to see what is not quite right by our standards or by the standards we've been taught to adopt and to apply. To protect is to create a space in which it's okay for this to be exactly what it is and not something else, not something that someone else has told us is what it should be. Oh, there's that word. Many of you know that word for me is one of the toxic ones. Should, ought, gotta, have to, and must. Those will get the body and mind and the nurturing process in great trouble very quickly. They create stress, and we don't need that in the nurturing process. When I was bearing children and feeding them, breastfeeding them, often part of the recommendation was, and I did aim for it many times, not always, was to be in a quiet, gentle, safe, protected space at the same time that I was nursing my children. And I'm pleased to notice that many airports now provide stations where mothers can go to nurse their children. They also provide stations for pets to go, which is interesting. Pet relief rooms near the bathrooms. Another way that we tend to nurture. If we haven't got someone in our family that's of the nurturing age, and we tend to be nurturers, and those of us who are born under the sign of Cancer often are, then maybe we will adopt a four-legged being to nurture, or two or three. And some of those travel with us. And so that airports, not just in this country, will sometimes provide a place for that to be an easy process for everyone. Nurturing. And there's another piece of it. The very act of nurturing is beautiful. Many, many, many cultures, long before the birth of the one we call Jesus Christ, have made statues and figurines of women nurturing babies. We call them Madonnas. I managed on my recent trip to find a figurine that predated Jesus by at least 2000 and probably 3,000 or 4,000 BC, 1,000 years before the birth of the man we call Jesus Christ. Wow, a Madonna. It might have been related to Isis, who was emerging in Egypt at that same time, holding her baby Horus. Or it might have been simply someone realizing what a thing of beauty it is when a mothering being holds a child and nurtures it. One of the marvelous things about living in this time is that we've gone through the stage where only women were allowed to nurture. And now more and more men who have that nurturing tendency are getting to express it openly. And some of them are staying home with their kids. And some of them are proudly displaying their nurturing experiences on social media. How marvelous. I love that this is happening. My model of social development is we were once separate but equal, women and men. And then with the empire culture and the dominating patriarchy, we had the masculine hiding and protecting and preventing women from expressing a lot of what is theirs to express. And then over the last 50 years, we've been seeing more and more of a shift to what I'm seeing as an integration of the masculine and the feminine. And this is a large part of why there are these whole discussions about what pronouns apply to a specific person. Is that person a woman? Is that person a man? Is that person inclined to identify with the feminine or with the masculine or both? Isn't that marvelous? We are all truly, as Carl Jung pointed out, anima and animus. We are both, all of us. And a big part of our life journey is integrating those, allowing the animus when it's appropriate, taking a stand, being protective, being active, and allowing the anima when it's appropriate, being receptive, being supportive, being gentle. Yes, we get to be all of that. Isn't it great? And more, our children and our grandchildren and soon our great-grandchildren will be experiencing the freedom to be all that they are. And we can help create a culture that nurtures the beauty of their souls and nurtures them to create ever more beauty. I want to thank you all so much for being open to all of these ideas that we get to explore here. And part of how I want to say thank you, Sally is going to implement for me. I couldn't be here to do it for myself, but I want all of you who have helped to nurture another being to know that we honor you. And I'll let her take over now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And happy Mother's Nurturing Day. Bye.
I thought that was a lovely message. What do you think? Yes. Okay. I'd like to open this up now to anyone who would like to come forward, stand behind here, and share a story about someone either you've nurtured or has nurtured you. Again, could be your mother, man, woman, like I said, science teacher, doesn't matter. Come on up and share.
I'd like to share a little journey. So at first it was my grandmother, my mom's mom, who thoroughly and completely loved me unconditionally. And as she moved on into her elder years, she taught me how to cook, how to sew, all the things that she thought I needed to know in this life. And then it was my father who nurtured me. And as a teenager, he was the person in my life that gave me the strength and talked to me about being a strong woman, being a powerful woman, and not letting a man do anything I didn't want them to. And so he was a great nurturer in my life. And then we go back to my mom. And she remained as a nurturer in the rest of my life as long as she lived. So, thank you.
Richard, and then anybody else?
My mother was a woman of infinite patience. And she recognized that perhaps I had some interest and ability in music at a very early point in my life. I don't have a specific memory of this, but she always told me, Richard, when you were still at home, not in school, you would watch me and say, Mother, can we have some quiet time and listen to music? Can I sit on your lap? And so I would sit on her lap, she'd turn on the radio, and if it was Western music, I'd say, no. I want to hear the real thing. So there was one classical music station in Portland, and that was the one that we always gravitated towards. So I just want to say thank you to my mother for encouraging that, and I would just say that music has been the light of my life.
Well, this is a little different story. It's about my husband, who's not here, but actually he's at home, aren't you, darling? You're watching to seeing if the screen is and everything's working. So the story is for you and for everyone here. He's a kind of St. Francis. So came the day when there was a thud against the window, boom, and we went to see what it was, and there was a little sparrow fallen against the window, so we've all experienced. It looked pretty stunned, but St. Francis went out and picked it up, held it in his very warm, healing hands, but nothing, and he wasn't going to give up. And part of me was going, that doesn't look good. But he found the box, put the nesting in, and kept nurturing this little bird. And he named the bird Katie. Synchronous with this was the arrival of a human named Katie who was having a really hard time in her life. And we said, hey, we've got a spare room, come live with us. And so Katie moved in, the human Katie, and Katie lived with us, and all the time this nurturing was going on with the little bird. And you know, the life force is really strong when it's loved. And so both Katies were loved. And the day came when, and I have a photograph of his big hands and this tiny little bird, and it was ready. It was ready to go. And so the little bird Katie flew off. We hope to a lovely life, we don't know. And a few months later, Katie said, thanks, folks, and I'm off. And so both Katies were nurtured and were free to continue on with their lives. So, thank you.
As far as nurturing goes in a classical definition, I don't think my mother would fit into that category. But her nurturing fit the need. I was a very active child, very curious, and her nurturing allowed me the independence to go all kinds of places that today a parent would be probably strung up and put in jail for abandonment or something like that. But in my world, it allowed me to do all kinds of things and experience things that I don't think today it would be possible. And I kind of am saddened for the children of today because I had that sort of what she called nurturing. She always ensured that I was involved in some sort of sport activity. I think it was before Ritalin, so that was the only thing that they had to deal with, all that energy. So, but nurturing doesn't have to fit the traditional definitions, but my mother was very nurturing in the way that I needed to have it done. So thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers here and the mothers that aren't here. My mother passed away, and she was a nurturer in a very unusual way. She encouraged me to do what I wanted, to talk to her about it first, and then if she felt it was a good thing. She encouraged me, and I became the person I am today, much like her, very interestingly. And her father, my grandfather, was, brings tears to my eyes, an amazing, amazing man. He was a nurturer. I was an only child, and I was the firstborn of the family. And he nurtured me whenever he was able to hit town. He was an up and coming and went very high in General Foods. He became high management. Anyway, he would come to town and we would sit and talk, and he was just amazing. And he was one of these people, he never met a stranger. You know, he talked to everybody and was very encouraging in a very interesting way. Anyway, years forward, the family got together for my second cousin's graduation from UCLA, and parts of the family came together. This was my mom's side of the family, came together, and we're talking, and I told them, I started out, and I said, you know what, Brian, you are so your father's son. And I told him why, and then I turned to his father and said, and you are so your father's son. I mean, the Heckin' Lively men are just amazing. And then somebody got up and said, Jean, you are so everybody's daughter. You're amazing. Because of them. Yes, God bless.
Anybody else? Well, thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. It was sort of impromptu, and I really appreciate your coming up here and sharing just a bit about your life, the usual and then the unusual nurturing. And I think if we had to maybe look back, we could all find something in our life that you can think about today, that person that nurtured and how it was and what it meant to you. So I also want to honor Katie is here today. And we installed a couple of new members last week, and she wasn't able to be here, right? But she's here today. So Karen and Paula, one of you, would you like to introduce Katie in a short bit way and give her and sign the book? And we have to conclude this, you know. She has to sign the book. Katie, do you still want to be a member of this particular fellowship? Yes. Say yes. Stand up. Turn around. Say hello to everybody. Hi, everyone. So does everybody here agree to help Katie along her journey of being a good steward of our FUUF community? Yes. Yes. Let's do it. So while we pass the basket around here in a minute, maybe Karen can take Katie in the back and we'll sign the book and welcome you with open arms. Katie, is it Mueller or Muller? Mueller. Mueller. Katie Mueller, the newest member of the Unitarian Universalist anywhere in the world. Right here. Thank you. Thank you. So our community partner for the next, this month and next, is the organization called the Friends of Florence. It's the Van Fans. This is an organization that has a big van, and they drive to Eugene 5 days a week to go to the, where do they go? They go to the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and the Oregon Urology Institute for free. Get on the bus, Gus, go over, come back, and they do it 5 days a week. They've been doing it since 1988. And they don't charge anybody anything. So it's free. It's a great way to get to know people. I've run into people around town, and I say to them, how did you know her? And she said, oh, we rode the cancer van together for 6 months. Really? Yeah, it's a bonding experience, I guess. So we're asking for an offering to the Friends of Florence, AKA the Van Fans. We also have an offering to our particular fellowship. We are lay-led, The finances that we receive, we use for things that, can continue to bring you what you have been experiencing here for either a week or a month or many years. So we ask that you consider a contribution to this fellowship as well. And for those who are listening on the live stream or the pre-recording, if you'd like to make a contribution, you can send that by mail to Florence, the FUUF, at P.O. Box 2502. Or anybody can visit our website and click on the donate button, which is a nice, easy way to give over and over and over again. So I'm going to ask, would you help Ashley on this side? Sure. Darlene, would you help on that side? We're going to pass the basket. It's got two sides to it. Does that sound right? It's got this side and this side. So this side is the Friends of Florence, and this side is the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. So you can drop a contribution in one and or the other. And before we do that, I ask that you repeat after me. Divine love through me. Divine love through Thank you. Blesses and multiplies all that I am. Blesses and multiplies all that I am. All that I give. All that I give. And all that I receive. And all that I receive. I am prosperous now. I am prosperous now. Blessed be. Blessed be. So we don't have any music to play, but you can talk amongst yourself as this basket goes around. And yeah. Anybody else want to share a story? So while you're doing this, I'll share about two people that nurtured me in my life. One was my father. When I was a little kid, he would come home and say to my mother, "How's Whistling Sam?" Because I was whistling before I could talk, and it was Whistling Sam, the Barbasol Man, the commercial for those of you who are old enough. So my father nicknamed me Sam. So those of you people don't know me as Sam. Only my relatives do, but you're welcome to call me Sam anytime. My dad was awesome. I loved him. He nurtured me beyond belief. But the other was my grandmother, who was very patient with me. She taught me two things: how to make really good sausage and never to learn how to sew, because I was not good at it at all. So she encouraged me to shy away from that craft, okay? And go into hotel management or comedy, one or the other. So here I am. So, all right, so I'll be quiet now. You all can talk. Karen, yes.
I'll share a nurturing story because I was thinking about it when other people were talking. And although I had very good parents, they were lovely, and my mother was the kind of person who said, "Karen, you can be anything you want to be." And she must have told me that 100 times in my growing up years, and that was a really, really nice thing. And, but I kind of, as I look back, I said, my mom kind of had to do that, right? But the dean, I don't know if this dates me because colleges nowadays don't have deans of women and men, but when I was in college, colleges had deans of women and men. And the dean of women, for some reason, took a liking to me, I think, because she would invite me over to her house. She would make a fancy meal like stuffed Cornish game hens or whatever, and we would just talk. And that was, to me, the ritual of joining the adult world. And for her, I will always remain grateful to her.
Wow. That's beautiful. Isn't it amazing the different stories you can tell? Was she a science teacher?
I have no idea what her discipline was.
So I want to thank you for your spiritual practice of giving. These contributions are received in grateful appreciation. I'm going to extinguish the chalice. Karen, if you'd like to come forward, we will extinguish this flame as I share this Native American prayer. Beauty is before me, and beauty is behind me. Above and below me hovers the beautiful. I am surrounded by it. I am immersed in it. In my youth, I am aware of it. And in old age, I shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. Blessed be. So we are going to conclude our Sunday service. We're going to gather around, before you gather, don't get up yet. We're going to gather around in a big circle around the chairs, and we're going to sing the peace song. And as we do and gather, I've got some volunteers who have some flowers. They will walk around in the circle, and if you are more than welcome to take a flower in honor of Mother's Day, in honor of those that have nurtured or you have nurtured. So please gather in a circle. You don't have to hold hands or lock arms because we're going to be giving you some flowers. So who do I have to help me with the flowers? Karen and Rayma. And also at the conclusion of all of this, Rayma is a spiritual mind person, and she will be doing affirmative prayer free for you in the side room after service if you'd like to meet with Rayma. Rayma, please come.
Got some. Thank you. There's more.
Okay. So if you will gather, stand and gather around the chairs in a big circle, and we will be distributing some flowers to you. If you'd like one, take it home and enjoy. So we'll do this, and then we will sing our peace song. Everybody gets a flower. Put your hand out if you'd like a flower. If not, that's just fine. And we're going to sing this a cappella.
I was gonna take one until you took two. I'm like, 'cause I got my mom and my grandma and my
Shall we sing? So the words to the peace song are nowhere, so if you don't know the words, then just hum along and enjoy the melody and the experience with us. This is a song that we sing at the conclusion of every Sunday, and I invite you to sing with me now our peace song. Are we ready? Ready. Let there